Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are safe and sound, and I hope you all have slept on the late night dramatic scenes, because Real Madrid have just handed us another disgraceful result. It's like every year we have it on the priority list that we'd lose to a team that no one knows about. We did that in the previous season. We lost to a team called Alcoyano, and since it was the Copa del Rey, we didn't really take that loss to heart. But this time it's the Champions League, and we pride ourselves when it comes to this competition. We have seen the team perform extremely well in the UCL, better than all the teams of course, and it's painful to see how we have lost to a team called Sheriff. We were saying in the preview, all the teams are aware of the problems Real Madrid have. All the teams know that they will get chances, they will get opportunities to have a go at Real Madrid, and that is exactly what we saw. Defensively, we have been shambles since the beginning of the season, and we have to give credit to Sheriff as well. This is a team about which there is so little information on the internet. We never heard of these players, and honestly, when I was doing the match preview for this game, I was literally struggling to find any information about this team. There's nothing out there on the internet, but it was noticeable from the scorelines that Sheriff had players who had the taste for goals. You look at the previous results: 7-0 against Dinamo Otto, 4-0 against Floresti, 2-0 against Shakhtar, and have a look at how many they scored in the previous season. In the Moldovan League, they scored 116 goals in 36 matches, and we don't give much thought to these results because we don't really know teams like Milsami and Petrokub who are competing with Sheriff in the Moldovan division. But since they have scored so many, what we do know is that these players know how to put the ball at the back of the net. Both the goals that Sheriff scored, they were top class goals, and especially the last one, what a goal that was. As a Madrid fan, you're fuming seeing the ball go in that way, but at the same time, when you see the goal again, you can do nothing but marvel at it. So it was a result that tainted the beautiful history of Real Madrid, and we will be seeing what went wrong in the game in this post-match analysis. So let's get started. And having a look at the lineup, Ancelotti decided to field the back four of Alaba, Militao, Miguel and Nacho. In the midfield we had Camavinga, Casemiro and Valverde, and in attack we had Eden Hazard, Benzema and Vinicius Jr. And talking about the lineup, I was again surprised to see Nacho in the right back position, because if you remember the pre-match thoughts of Carlo Ancelotti, he had specifically stated that if Real Madrid set up narrow with no natural wingers on the right, he would have preferred to use someone who will push on, and Lucas would be his preferred choice. But yesterday we had no Rodrigo or Asensio on the right, and all the responsibility was on the shoulders of Nacho and Miguel to provide width to the side. And yes, time and again we saw both Miguel and Nacho were going forward, getting involved in attack. Miguel did a decent job with a few crosses and overlapping runs, but there are some serious questions regarding the attacking capability of Nacho Fernandez. Carlo Ancelotti almost used him as a winger on the right. He spent a lot of time in the attacking third trying to be productive from there, but the quality of the crosses just wasn't good enough. And another thing that didn't help Nacho much was that the attacking players of Real Madrid all had more of the tendency to stick to the left side of the pitch. You talk about Vinicius, Hazard, Benzema, all like operating in the left-sided territories, and as a consequence of this, Nacho was often isolated. He didn't really have many players to link up with. Valverde was there on the right, but since Ancelotti used the tactic of attacking with fullbacks, it was also required that someone would cover up for Nacho and take cover for the defensive side. But the important thing to note here is that when you use players who are not specialists in their positions, there will be games when you will just about get the job done, but there will also be games where you will get the odd mistake, and it wasn't a coincidence that the cross for the goal came from that side. It just felt like Nacho was unable to manage both the attacking and defensive responsibilities. And have a look at how we conceded the first goal. Sheriff were casually passing the ball at the back, and it just took one pass to completely take out the Real Madrid midfield. There was an overload on the left, and look at this picture. You're surely going to be punished for such defensive lapses. Cristiano had all the space in the world ahead of him. The Real Madrid players were scrambling to cope up with that move. He puts in a brilliant cross towards the far post. Nacho could not close him down, and it just was a perfect cross. Alaba could not cover for his man, and the header was placed to perfection. Yakshiboyev, he puts the power behind the header into the bottom corner. Certainly Courtois couldn't have done anything about that. But again, this goal wasn't the case of Real Madrid getting hit on the counter. It was a case of Real Madrid lacking defensive structure. There's lack of cohesiveness in the side. They're simply not on the same page when they are supposed to be defending as a unit, and you can't expect to get away every time by making the same mistakes. There will be time when the oppositions will make you pay, and indeed Real Madrid had to pay against the Moldovan outfit. But coming to the first half in general, Real Madrid had a lot of possession. We had a lot of shots as well. In fact, the entire game we had 36. But here, firstly, we have to give credit to the defensive shape of Sheriff. Have a look at this. They used to set up in the 4-4-2, and just look how quickly they used to get back in position once they lost the ball. They were very good with the defensive transitions. They were quick to take the positions without the ball. They were committed towards the defensive responsibilities, and that made a huge difference. The defenders were ready to deal with crosses. They were the first ones to get their heads to the ball. And how can we not talk about the goalkeeper of Sheriff? He was absolutely stunning on the night, and as my friend would put it, he played like he was the second coming of Prime Neuer. He had all the answers to all the questions that Real Madrid were asking. He even guessed the right way while attempting to stop Benzema's penalty, but the penalty was hit with power and very well taken by the Frenchman. And coming to the second half, we did go all out in attack, especially after the equalizer. Ancelotti made wholesale changes. Modric and Kroos came on. Camavinga and Valverde were both sent to the fullback positions. That was something different that Ancelotti was trying, and it did look a bit desperate that time. But Ancelotti explained his decision in the post-match press conference as he said, Camavinga can play there because he played there several times in the past when he was young. Valverde pushed a lot on the wing. I changed the two midfielders in the centre to bring more freshness. The game was under control. We lost the game because we were a little unlucky on some details that cost us dearly. And I do agree that with Modric and Kroos on, we were the team pinning back Sheriff. It was looking like we were the team who were going to get the winner. Madrid had upped the intensity, the adrenaline rush, made the players give extra effort on the pitch, but none of us saw the last goal coming. It was exasperating to watch that go in. It all started from a throw-in. Sebastian Thiel receives a flick from Traore. He again had some time to adjust and set himself up for the shot, but that left-footed volley was absolutely smashed. It was a pile driver. It went like a bullet past Courtois into the top corner, and the historic night for Sheriff became an extremely memorable one. It was the biggest match in the history of Sheriff, and you could see in the celebration the players had tears in their eyes. The managers, the support staff were all in disbelief that they had beaten Real Madrid, that too at the Bernabeu. And as for Real Madrid, we received nothing but embarrassment on the night. So about the game, what I would say is that Real Madrid are not learning from the mistakes, and obviously we don't have many defenders as well, but Ancelotti has to take responsibility for this loss and find some solution to our defensive woes. We are still lacking control in games. Casemiro is looking like the shadow of the player we know him to be. Far too often we see him losing position, gifting the ball to the opposition, and these are the things that need to be fixed by all means if we want to win anything this season. The only positive from the game was that Kroos is back in the side, and Madrid will certainly benefit with his presence in the lineup. So let's see if Ancelotti can make a strong comeback from here. We still have some room for error in La Liga. We have a 3-point cushion over our major rivals Atletico. In the Champions League as well, Inter and Shakhtar do not have a single win. So I would say that we don't need to panic right now. We need more focus, and let's hope we will see some positive changes very soon. So those were my thoughts from the game, and let's conclude this video by hearing the thoughts of Carlo Ancelotti from the post-match press conference. He was asked if Madrid fans should be worried about the recent defeat, and Ancelotti responded, "We are feeling down rather than being worried because we had the chance to get the 3 points. The team did its job and played with great intensity and commitment, and the fine margins have ended up costing us the game. We had a lot of chances and could have done better in the final 30 meters. It's difficult to explain the defeat when you look at the performance we put in." He was then asked what Sheriff did well and what Madrid did wrong in the game. He said, "Sheriff defended well, padlocked very well behind. We combined well, we broke the backline several times. We did a lot of crosses, but what we haven't done is the little details. We could have been more focused on that point." And lastly, Ancelotti was asked about Eden Hazard. He was asked what Hazard lacks to be a decisive player that everyone wants him to be. He said, "He had a good game and linked up well with Benzema and had chances to score. He shot on goal and the goalkeeper did well. All he's missing is a goal." So those are the thoughts of Carlo Ancelotti, and now it's your time to let me know, what did you make of Real Madrid's defeat to Sheriff? What did you think that went wrong in the game? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid. And as always, a la Madrid.